na yɛn to aso kwasi akɔ aba kwabra so akɔ aba senior akɔ aba na ho te sɛ I from Mejiga dodo. People come to you and some nipa na catch church say ono na ejimi. Oh, the way some nipa na catch church say nipa na ye off or decide so be hia no and hia no because all opportunities are around the person. But we decide so be the man ho akere no, then you come to you as if say there's a force somewhere na man ho akere no. We begin to hear most na ho now, we need to me challenge back crown no. This is the nine need to tongue.
Life.
Some must happen like that.
Yes, it's life.
We are sure.
Yes.
A BOSS and AC.
Yes.
In the moment we TikTok video, no time they say no more.
Yes, a life in the sense that one say you are going through conscious evolution.
Okay.
That's why you need to be patient with everybody. So the okay. Consciousness nindu wa uhuna different.
Okay.
I say work class 2 obi nursery and it's acting funny now work class 2 and I say what's wrong with you obi so investor show you look funny to the person.
It's life.
Yeah, so it's life. That's how it is that so that's why you have to be accommodative.
Okay.
Until who be a way do know you transcend the knowledge and send it to the person and you try to bring him out of where he is to a better place. This is the only way our universe will progress.
It is a ojimi now kanu ntia oni hia bit my found.
You see those times that me catch my father say adesi no ne bufu no okasa me say that ehunya so bufu. All you need to do is to transmit the knowledge and leave it to the universe because we are saying sometimes we take responsibility to ourselves, but the truth of the matter is that it is just a 10-90 rule. Humanity does only the 10%, the universe does the 90%.
But also a 10-90 rule,
and it is done in business, everything.
What's the 10-90 rule?
10-90 rule means that we do the 10% effort and the universe does the 90% of everything.
You might be 10%.
It's only 10%. Yes. But the truth of the matter is that, for instance, if Oba Ewa or Chem in her difficult moment of face or no, the actual gravity and a virginal war. Without gravity, it doesn't matter how much Ochim Akola Nemba.
What do you mean by that?
The energy, that universal force within the air that holds us stable and holds everything down. See, but without gravity, number. Without gravity, pen is not going to write. That is why when they went to space, the pen they took wasn't writing. So they had to invent the astronaut pen. So, in the misunderstanding of our...
That's a Ricardo say. Without gravity, a dear chin be back from one dear chin back from say new pen crunch.
It's gravity that holds everything, brings everything down within the gravitational space. When you go beyond the space which is out of reach of gravity, which is the weightlessness, that's where Wright brothers know to me a year research to be able to fly a plane. When you read that weightlessness, now gravity doesn't work there, so nothing really comes down. That is why I ask them, Oko space they really don't poo. So I say a mom of biscuit in your man, they won't poo, they won't wee. No, it doesn't work there. So they have to get something to hold them up. Everything in outer space is floating.
No. Emma.
Yes, because you need gravity for it to drop.
It's only 10%. Just 10%.
Yes. It's gravity that does everything for it. It holds everything down. And these are things that say aware to. What's a last previous show Namido can be outside say you are saying you're advancing. And the level of consciousness now you do know. If we don't catch up as black people, you grow. And that's the reason why we are what we are. And Oshe nations now, a few nations who used to have enlightened leaders. Let me call them enlightened leaders because they are more advanced than most of the leaders. Oshe are more lifestyle like people like Paul Kagame, the nature of Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah. They were not ordinary people. They were people who are doing some level of spiritual practice. So their understanding and perspective to life is different. Because I have categorized our structure, our intelligence structure into 3, let's say 4. We have educated people, we have uneducated people, they are ignorant. So we have educated people, civilized people, and enlightened people. And then the uneducated people. That's how I've categorized our intelligence. Now, uneducated people, which is ignorant people, they think about nothing except for themselves. Sorry, now they don't care if anybody go school, the bank go school, he doesn't care. I'm not talking about school going. I'm talking about uneducated. Yes, not doesn't want to learn from sight. Then we have educated people. Now, these educated people, what they think of is themselves and the well-being of their family. And there's the kind of people we have in political positions and all those things. They're educated people, all right. But these are how educated people think. Then we have civilized people. Civilized people think of themselves, their family, and the nation that they control, or where they are, the jurisdiction where they find themselves. That's how civilized people think. And enlightened people think not but themselves and their family alone, but think about the collective good of every living thing, animate and inanimate, within manifest creation, within the whole universe. That's how enlightened people think. So let's categorize it. Let's say most educated people of our kind, you go to school, want to become a doctor, lawyer, accountant, to make money, live a good life, and give our family a good life. That's why we're educated. Then such people, when he becomes a president, he's thinking of how at the expense of the people. People are at the hospital, they are suffering, they can't pay hospital bills, they warm when they don't matter form. They don't really care because their level of consciousness only think of themselves and their immediate family. Then we have civilized people. These civilized people, we'll call them the Western world. So I won't want to call names. So a civilized country, for example, would go to another nation, cause war there, take the mineral resources, take it to his country, and let he himself, his family, and his people live very well. Into some part of the world, say, because they are civilized, they are thinking of their collective good of their people. But at the level of the educated people, no doing the bush until Busumuka say you increase it, but payroll within the presidency ministries now, and you salaries increment. So that's the educated people. Now, when you come to enlightened people, now the enlightened people, most of them practice self-denial or town or dream idea affected the whole universe for the collective good of the whole humanity and even to non-animate beings. That's how enlightened people think and behave. So I always say that technology in the hands of a civilized person is very dangerous. Technology in the hands of educated person is deadly, but technology in the hands of an enlightened man is beneficial. Why am I saying that? When somebody is educated, na onya technology odisiye omo bi ehun nti tete no wo fie o papa enim se na ye herbal medicine bi o ba no disiye
obepo se ewure man sa na obefie.
That's an educated mind. Now, a civilized mind, onya technology, he uses the technology to control the other people for the comfort of only nation. So they say this one is American technology, British technology. They are hiding how they do things, so that other nations will be at their mercy. Then they become superpowers or the controllers of the universe. But when we are looking for technology to fall in the hands of enlightened people, the next thing they think of is that then a mayor that is the issue right now. And that is why we are advocating, say, we need more people to be enlightened. The question now is how can one become enlightened?
Okay.
How can one become enlightened?
Okay, so if we want to go that journey now, it may confuse a lot of people. Enlightenment starts from you.
Obviously, that's why we are here today.
How do I discover myself? Now, somehow kind about graffiti, it just fall in my head. Say, to and check right now. You have to step your leg on the ground before you can gravity. So that you can pull. So anywhere when I never come here, wait me, a pull be out. And you are in a buckle form. Intimate mom be about intimate. That's why they can't plant anything in those spaces. That's a brave. And then young court now me as a person, me nipa. Because I want to understand me. I want to understand this body, what it lives inside, and send the operations next year. Now, me so. Let say I have to grow and become enlightened and answer education. For now, I want to understand how things work. I want to come to the human being and development.
Okay. I say, human being as we are tripartite beings or triune beings. We have this physical body, literally they call it the soul, and then we have the spirit. Now, these three comes together to form who we are as a person. Unfortunately, because of the structure of your educational system, we only think about the body and forget about the rest.
Okay.
So then we are trapped within the realm of material sensual gratification.
Okay.
So everything we operate with is desire, which is tilted towards downwards, which is supposed to go upwards so that we keep the balance.
So you this year my man say
Yes.
and we don't learn beyond.
So we
here.
spend about 99% of our life trying to satisfy our material energy.
Okay.
You work hard, you want to eat food, you want to buy clothes, you want to get good showmies, good perfumes, get good cars, get good houses, get good wife, good family, everything. Everything we do is to satisfy our material energy.
Okay.
But actually, that is not who we are. That is the illusion. That is the reflection of who we truly are. So the true person is there, and it's a reflection of who we truly are. So now, the question is that if we can switch our thoughts from the material energy to the non-material energy, then we begin to live the life the way we are supposed to live it. That's what Bible says, that to be carnally minded is death.
It's death.
But to be spiritually minded is life. Because the manifest world is a reflection, it's an illusion of the non-manifest world. That's what Bible says, that out of the invisible comes the visible. Into Ababono, you're both free inside, but outside. You're more free outside than go inside.
Okay.
But most of the people, from outside, and outside now, they don't go inside. So we need to rediscover who we are as a people. Say, only self-discovery, a day we a waste.
So when you're self-discovery, you're wasting your time on earth.
Everything is a waste.
Young Kwai, how do I discover myself?
Yes, to discover yourself, as I said, you must understand that you were from the non-physical. Gradually, you graduated into the physical realm. When you go to Yemfa pregnancy into consideration, one say before it's liquid, we call it sperm, and it's an egg, we call it ovaries or something like that. And the two comes together, and then the life form is created. Now it goes through certain metamorphosis gradually, then it takes form, takes shape, then adani nipa that's in it is a wo. To me, what sa nipa that's in it to your friend was stillbirth. Or all the attributes in the nine or ni or ni bema or everything is there, but I say it's stillbirth. If you walk on a comma air, but I say stillbirth. Because adia emma nipa ne nipa, that give the person an essence of existence. It's not in.
Which is what?
Which is yourself, what you call the self, the real you. That defines your essence. So the Bible calls it the breath of life.
Okay.
It says that then God formed man from the dust of the ground. Literally telling that after having all the physical, going through all the physical metamorphosis to have this physical structure, without that breath of life, that holy breath, that divine essence within you, you are dead.
You're still dead.
You don't exist. So that holy breath, which you call self, other books call it different names. Sometimes some Bible they call it the Christ consciousness within yourself. That is what we need to discover, because you undiscovered no idea a waste. A waste. And unfortunately, some of these things are difficult to say because of the educational strategy. Sometimes you become a target. People begin to look at you funny way. You see, unfortunately,
must that be the reason why any can't say Kasa?
No, we should talk about
if that is the truth, and that's
the truth. But you see, I mean, the perception of people. You see, for instance, it's very difficult to tell somebody that the educational system we have is part of the plow to take you off your self-intelligence.
But that is the truth.
But it's going to look at you with a funny impression.
But if that is the truth, and then we'll be here with that eye after discovering now what we no can. No more so they knew all this and they didn't tell us.
You get the whole thing. I say that the essence of education is to lead man to discover who he truly is and the purpose of his existence. Any educational institution that is unable to achieve this objective has failed humanity. And that is why there are a lot of people walking astray, because the educational system you go through now has failed us. It was not able to achieve the objective of human existence. Because we are omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent beings. No. But we are created in the image and likeness of God, so we are gods. And that is the absolute truth. For Bible says, I'm not saying it. The Bible says that for we were created in the image and likeness of God. So obviously, Nyansa Otiohono, I don't think your son will be anything different from you. Physically, he may have a different physical metamorphosis, a different physical structure, physiology. But when we want to talk about the persona, when they pick your DNA and they pick his DNA, it's going to be 99.999%. Now, the 99.999%, it is because a human being did the process. So they can never treat it as 100% because there's a human process involvement. So when you take your persona, it is no different from your son. So if we say we're created in the image and likeness of God, which is absolute truth, obviously we are gods. That's what the Bible says, that don't you know that ye are gods? The problem with humanity is that it's either we have been made to forget our God identity or we have forgotten our God identity.
If you mention our God identity, what do you mean by that?
Our God identity is our true nature, our true self.
Take us. I want you to discover my true self. I want you to take your time and take us through it.
Okay. It's not something that happened in an instance, but we get a process.
Okay.
You see, human beings operate on the self and on the personality. Now, the personality has to do with your senses, which is the five senses, the regular senses that we know, and then that is what we call your energy. And then we have your emotions, that's what we call your vibration. And then we have your thinking or your thought level, that's what we call your frequencies. These are the three things that come together to form your personality. Now, there is something which is much more higher than these three things, and which is the self. Now, this self is supposed to inform these three things and control these three things. Let me get Kaskas now. It was said, a story was said that one day when we were coming to this universe, we journeyed through the outer space down to the various dimensions, and we got to this planet Earth. When we got here, because the self is not used to this physical space, he borrowed the mind that, okay, fine, come and be the driver of the physical body whilst you navigate me through the earth space. The self holds the map, the purpose, and the compass to everything you are supposed to do on earth. As soon as we got into the earth space, because the driver, which is the mind, is more conversant with this environment, he decided that he's not going to listen to the dictates and the directions of the self. So whichever thing that the self needs to accomplish whilst he's on earth, the mind says he wouldn't listen, and the mind now has become the driver. Yeah, call left. Now self goes, no, and you left, and person go akra. I say no, you didn't mean. So say me drive. Me want to yanko. That is the problem we are having now. So we have given everything to the mind. And I have seen people, a lot of scientists, some platforms I'm on, international platforms I'm on, and they talk about the mind and all those. And that's look, the mind is not as powerful as you think it is. Because the mind is so limited. Because everything from energy to frequency operates within the realm of limits. Everything is within the realm of limits. And until you transcend all the realms of limits, you can never know who you are.
Wow.
So the essence of we coming out with this knowledge is to help people go through the process and to transcend the realms, all the realms of limits. And at the apex of the culmination of the realms of limits is what we call consciousness. Then you become aware. Now, when you become conscious of your existence, then you, hey, so all these things I'm doing is just a waste of time. Then your life begins to take definition. You begin to find your path. Because your path, my path, his path,
it's not same.
It's not same. And we have different experiences with the path. And the truth of the matter is that until we come to the level where we can go to tutelage and training to get to that level where we discover ourselves, we are joking. And I can tell you the whole of scripture, all other scriptures combined, including the Bible, it's all about man knowing who he is. That's why Socrates was killed, simply because I said, man know thyself, for thou art like thirsty fishes in water. And the only thing the intelligences that want to control this universe don't want us to know is who we are. Because one thing is that you can never control a man who knows who he is.
Wow.
When you know who you are, nobody can control you. Because, yes, nobody can control you.
Because the things they are telling you to do, because you are aware, you will not do it.
You will not do it.
The things they are forcing you to follow, you will not follow.
Yes. That's why Socrates would drink a poison. Choose to drink a poison or denounce what you are saying about self-realization, and he chose to drink the poison. Wow. And all people have died for who they are. Jesus Christ said what? I am the Messiah. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody goes to the Father except by me. Though that statement has been grossly misrepresented by the theological societies. You get the whole thing. He didn't say that you believe him as a person to go to heaven, but the saying is that he has walked the path to self-enlightenment. So it is through him, by listening to what he will say and how he will teach you, you would also realize your enlightenment. You get the whole thing. And theology has misinterpreted it. So Jesus was killed for this reason. He said, who do men say that I am? It's about several. Who am I? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What I'm doing? How long would it take me to do what I'm supposed to do? And when I exit from here, where am I going? These are pertinent questions we need to find answers to. Okay. And once you don't have answers to those things, you live by people's decision, because you live your life externally, not internally.
Should I fast for 30 days to discover myself? I want to know what.
No, you don't. You see,
I want you to take us through self-realization.
Self-realization. That's what I say, that you don't need to fast. You see, I was talking to somebody, and when we're discussing, he has gone through the process, and then he was giving me a few instances of certain things which is happening to him now. And I said, yes, it's the beginning, but you need to practice it to advance it. What was he saying? He was saying that he was working on a project, and he was having difficulty doing that. The head was go and sleep. So he left and went to sleep. By the time he woke up, he had the whole information that he needs to do, came and did it, and it's intact. And he said, yes, because he got to know. They said, now you are connected to the light. And I told him, look, you don't need to go and sleep before you should get the information. You need to sit down and get the information, so you are gearing towards perfection of the self.
Okay.
You get the whole thing, because when I'm doing something, I don't need to go and sleep before I get the information. I can close my eyes inside, and then I do what I need to do.
You close your eyes and do what?
Like I focus. No, when I say close my, I not literally close these eyes. You understand? Like I bring my attention inside to connect to the source to find out this. What is this? Then you go. So when I told, they said he used the word, "We will get there," and I said, "No, you're already there, because there's no journey to that path. You are you. The you is inside you. So there's no process to it. It is just that we give you techniques."
So what was the techniques that will help me to grow and now discover who I'm really?
Yes, some of the techniques, literally, yes, we cannot say it online because everything has its own conditions. But yes, one of the techniques is mastering the act of meditation. Okay. And there are different forms of meditation.
Talk to us.
We have normal meditation, we have yoga meditations, and we have transcendental meditation. It is only one form of meditation that leads to self-realization, and that is transcendental meditation. Now, this transcendental meditation, too, there are different categories of transcendental meditation. But the only transcendental meditation that takes you to the self is the meditation that is revealed through the light and sound frequency. Yes.
So you listen to mantras and all that? Is that what you mean?
No, you don't listen to mantras. Because in true self-realization, you don't listen to anything. There's nothing external of you. You don't need to recite a mantra. You don't need to say anything. Because the you is you. The power is in you. You are the self. You are the realization that you are seeking for. For instance, as you see right now, and I said, you're looking for your bangle. Okay? And you'll be looking everywhere for your bangle. You struggle, isn't it? Because wherever you are looking, the bangle is not there. For chairman to tell, yes, sir, but the bangle is in your hands. How difficult is it to get the bangles?
It's easy because my hands are just with it.
Yes. So that is how easy it is. You see, so the life itself you are living, the reason why we are struggling is because we are going here and there. Man has gone to the moon, has gone to the depth of the sea, has gone to space, going everywhere looking for something. And what we are looking for is clarity and tranquility. And that clarity and tranquility is within us.
Wow. So you encourage her some person discover me home.
You need a coach or you need a guide to just give you the clue and the techniques. But nobody can give you self-discovery. Nobody can give you self-realization. All the people that said, come, no. Nobody can give you, it's a lie. And I tell my guys, look, I'm only a guide. I'm only telling you that, okay, put this one there, put this one there. But it is an individual responsibility and an individual journey for you to make. Because it is yourself. When you are coming into the world, I didn't provide the self for you. I didn't give you your spirit. I didn't give you your soul. I didn't give you your body. It's your own package. Then everything is intact. And let me tell you something. Baby, we are say air corner and the axis your universe are shifted to know. We don't have to waste our time on unnecessary things.
Wow.
Now, may catch you be say, I think we had a discussion when we finished. When I was thinking of something, and I was like, we talked about bulletproof issue that Sankofa Obako bulletproof, and I was asking myself, look at the modern missiles, that intercontinental ballistic missile. You think that your bulletproof can stop it? Your in Rana, you already know for bulletproof can stop it. It's going to dissipate you. Because the vibration frequency which is used to invent that interballistic continental missile, the vibration is higher. So, baby, we see do sisi and enya by Sankofa asem na yekan. You pass Sankofa.
Where are we now?
Where we are right now, the intelligences that control this universe and the knowledge which is being applied in our present age and time, which is the golden age, is extraterrestrial intelligence. Yes. And what our great-grandfathers used were terrestrial intelligences. No, they were not even intelligent. They are terrestrial knowledge. Okay. So, yes. Spirit of the water. So, the way we could these are terrestrial knowledge because they are using physical symbolism.
Okay.
And the vibrations of these physical elements to cause a happening. But baby, I do the baby, and all these things. They know it all right, but it's the fundamental. That's how we can say about 1,000 years. Because they are using extraterrestrial intelligence. I call it out of earth technology.
Yemfa Ghana ne US fanya example in terms of the terrestrial intelligence, extraterrestrial, you bit Martin me no ase. We can't bro for kesi no be confused, but with examples na na boana nipa hun de opese we mentioned extraterrestrial intelligence. What do you want to mean? There no more who say is in that space.
Yeah, you see, we share the kind of intelligence. Let's say, for instance, for classical scenario like a fax machine. You pick this paper. The fax is connected to a telephone line. There's no paper on the telephone line. There is no ink on the telephone line. There is no inscription on the telephone line. You scan this paper on the telephone line. The paper gets back to you. And somebody in the United States received the same copy. Just as it is on your paper.
Fax machine.
Yes. How do you comprehend such a knowledge?
And also about fax number, we receive your fax machine so.
Yes. Me wa fax machine just the paper na fa command. Paper no so a com machine we paper na be samba or back. Ubie o fax wie na ubie machine man. There's no paper in the man. There's no copy in the machine. But it gets to the open person and then it gets it exactly the way it is.
But
this is extraterrestrial. It's intelligence beyond the intellect.
But our fathers could also travel. For example, we are free Kintampo, Bedibja, we are Accra. We heard so much say some of them or no Babisi or you know about Babisi Bia, Ukruna or Banaquentiano and Nanti acronym. I don't know if
I know you my father to my grandfather used to Omuko farmer. Your son, sir. Now, like at the sun, yes, that is the basis. That's the basis of the development. Now, do you know that this Ayire Druno?
Your father experiences, sir.
Oh, my father is many times. He told his grandfather, I say, name mommy, papa, my father, and the part free Eburi, his family, my grandmother free Eburi. Also, name mommy, papa, Mr. S.A. Osu is dead. That's my grandfather. Say, also, Moko Strano na Mubakwa. I say, Minana, Minishu Mona, mo pe den chocolate. Oh yes, I know the chocolate na she won sir. Oh yes, I know the real life. Also the okokrum of first can kokrum. On the session the butuma na we.
So these things were there.
They were there, they were real things. I have visited a friend. I think I've told you before. I told my brother Moses before. I visited a friend. He's a fetish priest. There's a friend of mine. And the first time I visited him, I said, what is your cook? I didn't say, oh, you need to cook. And I said, me no. But catching the plane. Because then I didn't understand this physiology of the dwarf and all those things. But see, these are very, at certain frequent, because your level of comprehension and when to know who to say is something.
Is that not demonic? Let me use that word.
What is demonic?
I'm saying maybe certain in a certain no. Adie bia nintias yesu ye de bia friend say a demonic bonne bi na the same thought na so nya intia na so wonom.
That mean tias as at that time. Oh na na me do tio. So
the same thing is going through their mind.
The point is that I wasn't thinking it's demonic, but I was trying to say, is it really cook? And I didn't want to taste it if it's really cook. Because if it is not cook, then it's already entered into my mouth. But not the fact that it's demonic. You see, demonic is basically anything that becomes injurious and hurtful to humanity. That is demonic. What you want to say?
Yeah.
And if in the realm of fetish practice, we have demonic fetish practice, and then we have natural fetish practice. What you want to say? It's all energy. It's all about energy. Even Dr. Fraser said in Kofo use Bible at the domain Kofo. What the Bible doing Kofo is demonic, because we have other energies which are contrary to the energies of love. That when you use the Bible, it's going to eject that energy out. You see, so the point is that demonic issues are here can one say no adibia aside but anything which is not in line with our belief system and it is foreign, we classify as demonic, and that is ignorance.
So yam refie so the old example we friend say terrestrial na so friend no
extraterrestrial. Our intelligence is no terrestrial intelligence. Internet, most of these terrestrial intelligences.
Yeah, no terrestrial.
Terrestrial intelligences, because that's why these terrestrial intelligences. So unya nichiwa they now the kana. That's why people like King Agokole, they're great warriors, and they were able to capture all of them. Some of these people and to take them away. So it is alleged that one Peshi River no. Bosom ne woman, British no for the koi.
And sooner die La Palm Hono.
Yes. It's a like you the koi, and that is what they call the Great Britannia.
Oh.
Yes. Hana umbesi buidam no. Bosom no buidam. Some capture bosom. Chinese want to capture bosom no. About social media So you see, they are using advanced technologies, advanced knowledge. And I say to me, you do that level of knowledge. Okay. And yes, sir. To be there na be you.
Yeah, and until the you see, me there me a demon. Ti me there normal mama say. Ti enkomo still me.
Ukumu kofa na say no mo.
Say tokona enkomo me di ne topics am tuti ni nyina no. Na ye mfanye preaching na. Yeah, it is enkomo. But then we know say we sharing knowledge beyond understanding. My main cow was Happy FM Mass wedding the time I saw. Tunsa their friend say, but joining this beautiful family. Now, EBF pick your forms now, so it can be Happy FM 8 year everything when it comes to expense we here to be able to do your wedding. Yang any bohoka. A moment I'm marrying Finuno. Me ha Happy FM say befa forms. Niyam wana into your wedding who can you from 2024. Happy FM Mass Wedding, and the brass, no. Pacho, picky forms or Happy FM. Unu kunu, yere, mumra, na befa forms, na when you're ready. And I be call wife, my cramo, and I be 0244 959 0244 595 061 0244 595 061. And then number I be fresh up as a picky former. Your Happy FM, Asylum Down, Mr. Obra, befa forms. Me question no me be sane sitting a bear you bet me say we have to grow beyond where we are. See, I don't know terrestrial, so they okay. Now, bro, for fax machine, extraterrestrial intelligence normally, then where do these two fall? Maybe you don't know. Better need to do down my level. No?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That say, for instance, sure, say, you know, we after you come to that level of self-realization, and then you have mastered the act of going inside through the act of meditation. We are setting up a facility that we intend to get the Cosmological Advanced Research Facility. Now, this Cosmological Advanced Research Facility, we are going to train people who can then go in and then tap this kind of intelligences, which those intelligences are there. Dana can say, this earth is full of frequencies, a band of frequencies, and beyond. Now, every knowledge I open is there. Every knowledge is there. But depending on your level of consciousness and awareness and openness to that knowledge, you become receptive of that knowledge. That is the whole thing. And this now, last time say Nikola Tesla said the mind is only a receiver of the inventions. The inventions come from a source, which is the band of frequencies.
But the most set something like a lab. Nipa no bet me area that realm.
Yes, yes, Baba. You get the whole thing. And it's Ghana. I think you are trying to structure, but my other partner in Tanzania have started already in Tanzania. What you say, and they are doing marvelous. I can give you testimonies of some of the seekers on my phone. You read them. Some have gone to other galaxies, coming out with different knowledge. Yes, over here personally, I have started my own, but I'm now trying to put the group together. I personally start my own. I have a whole lot of things that I have. For instance, last time I was talking about the using salt to generate electricity.
Salt?
Yes. To generate electricity, yes. And I have the diagram there. For instance, just yesterday, my member Abraham, the one sitting behind me, was meditating, and he had an intuition into the various vibration of the resonation of the rainbow colors.
Okay.
But he is still advancing on the path. So I was explaining to him that this is meant for healing, psycho healing. You get the whole thing. That is not the first geometry he has received. There are other geometries he has received. You see, so the knowledge is there. It's within inside. But the first point of call is being trained to be able to go inside. That's why we call it invent. Vent means to bring out. That's why somebody said that you vent your anger, you bring out your anger on me. So invent means go in and bring it out. So the key issue now is, how do one go in? It's all about the switch of attention.
How do we go in?
That's a practical thing. When you come to the center, it's not something
you can teach.
Yes. When it's a matter of 35 to 40 minutes, we should be done with. You get it? Because the thing is...
No. Is it that easy? Say my band, me buy transit. You go inside.
No, the process is easy, but you need to go through preliminary training sessions to prepare you from your personality, how to shed off negative energies, because you know that we are controlled by energy centers. You get it? We have different energy centers. The Eastern people call it the chakras. From the root to the crown. You get it? So you need to be able to clean your chakra from the root, life, sacral chakra, with the solar plexus chakra. You come to the heart, you come to the throat, you come to the what they call the third eye, the pineal gland. Then finally you come to the crown. Now the crown is the center of the divine light. That is why I want to say akwala. By the time akwala no best start to say ebenya 2 weeks to 3 weeks, or best start to say pay attention to the external world. Yeah, friend no say na ahono. Now, in the process of reconnection, we open that energy for you. And then we cleanse your pineal gland through the transmission of energy. Once a pineal gland now, there will be a calcification of your pineal gland. So when the pineal gland becomes calcified, there's a lot of calcium clouds the pineal gland into me juma. Then
so you are able to adjust this and we see it more scientific than what people say is spiritual.
But what is spiritual? Science is a reflection of spirituality.
Okay.
For instance, let us take a classical scenario. When you come to science, they say that matter, atom, molecules, nucleus, protons, and all those things. All these things you see, they mention, they are all spiritual particles. You get it? They're all spiritual particles. And they are driven by certain intelligences. Now, that intelligences that inform those formations is what we are talking about. It's what I speak with authority. It's what I am talking about. And I can prove it to anybody who is ready, who comes around, who goes through the preliminary training sessions, and then is finally qualified in my observation. Because see, when you pick matter, then you pick atom. When you pick matter, the matter constitutes molecules. These molecules constitute atom. You get the whole thing. Now, in the atom, they are what we call the electrons. The electrons contains nucleus, and the nucleus contains neutrons. Now, science tells you that at the neutrons level, there is nothing. When you come to the spiritual aspect of it, they have lam, ram, vam, yam, ham, home. And then they have silence. That's the mantra they use to ascend. So, where science tell you it is nothing, when you come to spirituality, they tell you what? Silence. And silence is also nothing. Because you don't speak, you don't do nothing, you don't move. You understand? So it is the same thing. Now, we are saying that we have transcended the silence. We have transcended the nothingness. And in the nothingness, there's something we call life trance. Yes, in the life trance, there's a resonation of what we call sound frequency. Very, very subtle sound frequency that reveals our identity. So, in that nothingness that science cannot experiment, there's the resonation of sound vibrational frequency which is going on. The pattern of sound determines the formation of the density of what we have. So, when the sound is mild, the pattern is formed with more translucent density. Then they call it what? Neutrons or protons. When the particles become more dense, then they call it what? Nucleus. Then it becomes more dense, electrons. Then the denser becomes atom. Then it now comes into manifestation. Then from the atoms, it becomes more denser, then becomes molecules. And when the molecule becomes more denser, we call it what? Matter. Then the different matter is anything that has weight and can occupy space. It has mass. But the basic component that constitutes all these things are the particles. And these particles are the invisible coordinations. And this is what they call quantum physics. That's what quantum physics is all about. The energy field that deals with the particles of the universe. So it's all summed up to these things. And it's on the other side, when you go to spirituality, they take you through the same dimension and they give you the 6 mantras. So they have the 6 holy names. They call 6 divine names. They got the 6 mantras that will take you through the energies. And then we have the 7 chakras, which with the 7 chakras, you end at the pineal gland, which they call the spiritual eye. Then from there you transcend to the crown, which is the realm of silence. So with the crown, you don't use mantra. So in our facility, in our system of practice, we don't use mantras. No mantra, nothing. You don't think, you don't imagine, you don't anticipate, you don't visualize nothing. You know, some other spiritual they tell you when you get there, visualize, imagine this, visualize this, light a candle. No. They are anything which
set intention.
No. Anything that is created with thought is controlled by thought. And the self is beyond thought. So you must transcend thought. You must transcend the intellect to be able to harness the self. And if you can't transcend the intellect, forget it. Because you know that when you go and sleep, your thoughts goes into oblivion. The mind goes into oblivion. The body goes into oblivion. Your etheric body goes into oblivion. But yes, you still begin to have experiences. Because at that level, the conscious mind, which is thought, sends the triggers or the instructions to the what we call the subconscious mind, which constitutes your personality. And people preach subconscious mind to be your spirituality. And it's not spirituality. The subconscious mind is your personality. The constitution of all the mind emotions, and that's why what you go through in the daytime has the tendency to replay itself in your dream state. Because it is the programming of the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind that has been given, or the subconsciousness that has been given, is the energy that controls every activity in your body. Without the subconscious awareness, your cells cannot function, because you have over 6 billion cells in your body. It cannot function. Your nervous system, everything is not going to function.
So currently everybody's talking about awakening. Oh, awakening.
What are we awakening?
So where does that fall?
Yeah, they are awakening. Yes, you see, the awakening they are talking about, it is fine. But when I observe what they are saying, it is all about conscious awakening. But we are beyond consciousness.
Sorry.
We are the self. The self is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. That's why somebody give a full acronym to the soul. S, self. O, obliged. U, ubiquitous. L, light. Self-obliged, ubiquitous light. Be here, be there, be there, be there, and be everywhere. That is the self. And that is who we are. So if we can harness that level of our nature, which is our true nature, not our false nature.
So the line between our true nature and our false nature, as you're saying it, and you perceive how we can harness this. Because I know no one else in here. How do we harness it?
The majority of the people, we are lost. Now, if you're able to harness it, that's why I told you, there's a process you go through. But one of the easiest things I can put out in the public is, you see, being aware of something and beginning to work in that awareness is an awakening. You get the whole thing. Now, coming to that awareness that you are not this physical body, you are not your mind, you are not your emotions, is the beginning of that awakening. So you must understand that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not your emotions. That's why somebody, you see, the truth matter is a lot of people are in this world and they think they know themselves, but they don't. When I ask you a question like, who are you? You say, I am Nyansa. Isn't it?
Exactly.
You see, I am.
I am.
Then what is this?
Your hand.
Yeah, your hand. My hand. That it. My hand. Something is telling you that this hand belongs to me. So all the attributes we have created of ourselves is related to our personality. And our true self is telling us that those attributes we are seeing belongs to that self, and it is true that the self is expressing itself. But the truth of the matter is that which you are and that which I am is one but the same thing. There's no difference. There's no separation.
If you mention that we are lost, even though speaking about awakening, if we are lost, then give us the breakdown of process from now where we find ourselves in this world and where we are supposed to be by now to be able to catch up.
So yes, where we are now, most of us, we are operating from the level of the intellect. No, a few of us are operating from the level of the intellect. Most of us are operating from the level of emotion, and then the least of them are operating from the level of energy, which is we live by our senses. Say, be a don or be. Say, about who bana or the nation and obana young affair, no friend. That's where most of us are. And then the very few people in the average bracket are operating on the level of emotions and the emotion of and the level of desire.
What is emotion?
Emotions are frequencies from the thought which transcends into your level of vibration, then begins to generate energy. This energy that it is generated becomes a desire.
Okay, so to break it down, and I may treat this topic emotion, and I may catch you with the easiest way to get examples to emotions. Yes, it be a baby saw na we had na kola ni bisa at that time no. One person or the be man no, baby am wa kola no. Na kola na tete wa hunu say ho wa ba wonchen. Na wa sha ase a osun wo behave say ne be ya be feel say the man am ho atọ. So akola ni take advantage of the obeya ebe count na we deliver at the end the man so akola no take advantage of all emotions na wo bad down say enye strong enough no take advantage of it not the enya de ono nepe me we very much aware say kenye ho na aba ho a kasa di pa de ye mfa ma no enye exams we twa ya anka nsanka so situations are AC ni take advantage of it.
Yeah, so I don't know, let me explain it more technically for you. One say when akwalani bisa wa ade no, you create a higher resonation of vibration energy. Say no. Because everything is energy, it's banter. Akwalani time was say minya bi obi obenya o. Ohoho no ba ye no. Because of ohoho no, your energy level, your vibration level became porous. And now generate a more stronger emotion through cry.
No beji.
And because air how I do and you need concentration into no.
Now the man.
You penetrate your emotions.
Okay.
What the man? Simple like that. And
so
that,
any capacity now,
yes.
Anybody at all.
Yes.
No, they are draining wo.
Yes. And that is why when you don't master your emotions, people will control your life. It's as simple as that. And you must, and if you don't master your emotions will betray you.
Wow.
Yes, if you don't master your emotions will betray you. And when you come to, they call it neophysiology, neophysiological science. Yes, Odobi Kasa, and the person does a particular facial expression. It tells you what the person is feeling. You understand? So that is how it works. These are natural things which is within our personality. And the point is that these things can be changed. These levels of personalities can be changed. The attributes of these personalities can be changed. That is why you can improve on your personality. That's why they can take somebody, especially in media, they can polish the person. The way he talks, the way he understands, the way he perceives things, and all those things will change totally. And they give you a different personality. When they take these celebrities, they can take somebody on the street, take him to Hollywood, and in no time, I think there's this Ghanaian guy,
Abraham Atta.
Yeah, Abraham or something like that. They pick him. I learned he's a street guy selling on the street.
Yeah.
And look at him now. His personality has been changed. That has nothing to do with himself. And that is why sometimes when these personalities of these people are changed without the control of themselves, they go to the extreme to abuse that personality, and then they go wayward.
Yeah, it happens to some of these actors. A young American, I think they're one of these top actors now, the Banano. And then
I think with Smith also.
Yes, Smith, that boy. So the movie is very early.
Very handsome.
The character boy. I watched those movies. Me who later on reading about him, what happened? There's a changing the personality early. The name through baby.
On to me handle.
Then
it went a blowout.
Wow. So
and that is why when you come to our space or our facility, our office, we take you through gradual process. I always tell my friends, look, you don't give energy to somebody when the person hasn't got that capacity to harness and handle that energy. It will destroy him.
So the whole Kenya you find emotion. The 9%. These are the areas we are points na say you're very more confused. You're breaking the money down. That's why I pick on the emotional bit. I beat him the drive many pa atiasi. So sir, any man getting we and another church at the levels now you wanna.
Yes. So when you come to me and we are sitting down, I can talk to you for a while. After a day or 2, 3, 4 days, I can tell where you belong, whether you're controlled by your energy, your emotions, or your frequency. So this is how it works. Pertaining to what you are saying, I remember another classical scenario and how the energies coordinate. Onam na we eduane na what is sense no. Then you see it pulls you. We are putting beans gobe the gobe. Na sense na tune. So first the energy pick the signal. When the energy pick the signal
through one of your senses.
Well, those senses we call them, they're actually energies. Because when you die today, your nose is there, doesn't work. Your eye is there, doesn't work. Your skin is there, doesn't feel nothing. There's an invisible microcosmic force. Our skin, and an air function. Okay. And that is what we call energy.
Okay.
And also fragrant aroma, no, that energy.
Udum plug and I would to plug in free more. Why are
So the same thing. There's the same thing. So power that energy in your nose, pick the aroma vibration because the aroma no say energy. That is why it's coming from heat. It can be measured. Then I pick it. Then it will send it to lead the figurative heart, which is your desire, the level of your desire and emotion. Now, when that information, the signal picked by your sense of smell, sends that signal to your heart, your figurative, which your region of emotion, which is your vibrational resonation. When it picks it, it begins to develop desire. Now, your emotion has no right to decide. Likewise, your sense of smell, which is your energy, has no right to decide. It only resonates to pick it, sends it to your emotion, which is your figurative heart. He also accepts the frequency, the resonation. He has no right to decide. Then it will brood on it to conceive. As it broods on that signal, it begins to develop desire. But the decision has not been taken because he has no right to take that decision until it has been sent to the will, which is the intellect, the mind. It's the mind that has to take decisions.
So the mind will go and look at the packet, look at circumstances,
do certain assessments,
or take care more drive. Baby, baby, packet.
Yes.
So so all these things will come
through the thought.
them, and
you will assess it before you take the decision. Okay, let's eat. So let's eat, but then you will revert the information back to the emotion, which is the heart state. Then I ask them accept now or jatum. Once a jatum, the body will comply. Now this is where the mistake is.
Talk to me.
Do you know where the mistake is?
Talk to me.
There's a gap. The gap is that when the information from the heart gets to the mind hasn't got the right to take it. The mind must communicate with itself.
Okay.
And this is where everybody, most of us that we're talking about self-awareness,
it's
all connected to the self. So this is where that's where the self-awareness people end.
I think you are getting somewhere. Maybe say usia sa niema we. The entire obreno and on a so no pain. You are suffering to an extent. Use this word to understand because niema bebre wa o yo no. Udu baby a. Na one man wagina the last pointer
to take the decision.
Decide. In the press before nyumbi. Was it asembi aram adibi aram ye no. Adi biara me anka SSME bisa se ebeye Yesu fe. So it's not the Jesus you are talking about. You're talking about the Christ conscious within. No, in case me bisa ansa se ebeye fe okra ne fa na. So the point is that who could do baby and now ayewa wadwene
because education has made us believe that the mind is the ultimate.
Oh, so it goes beyond the mind.
It's go beyond the mind. Until still on the scenario. Until when the information gets to the mind, and the mind does not do that physical, external analysis. Oh, by this time my wife knew the baby I'll be packing. One yes, now it doesn't connect. Is this food good for me? It goes inside and asks. The self can tell that okay, fine, it's good, but don't eat it because who eat it? We be. It's a knowledge that the self doesn't know. The mind cannot perceive.
How do you develop the line between the mind and that self?
Yes. Now
this gap, no.
Yeah, between the mind and the self, there is I'll call it a ladder or a connectivity cable. We call it intuitive frequency or intuitive energy, and that is your intuition. It speaks back, and you speak back. There are two levels. We have the intuition and we have instincts.
Okay.
We have our instincts and we have our intuition. Now, instincts is the porous, low, degraded form of intuition. We call it instincts. So last time I was watching one of these huge American preachers. His name is T.D. Jakes. He said, living by your instincts. He has a program he does every year, living by your instincts. That's how if this man is telling people to live their instincts, then he's telling them to live by their animal tendencies. Because when you live instinctively, you are using your animal nature. Because you're unable to connect. So what happens is that because you don't have the connectivity between the intellect and then the intelligence, which is the self, you're unable to connect. The intellect will force the information down to your intellect. The intelligence, which is the self, will force the information down to your intellect. To what it says, sorry. So instinctively, you wake up, not knowing the reason why. Oh, sorry, that is the instinctive connection. So, Bibi catch him say, me free. Oh, sorry, this is nature telling you that there is a higher intelligence which is supposed to guide your life. But because you are disconnected from that intelligence, which is the self, sometimes when the thing becomes injurious, a bit hurtful, no. I don't know, so say be planning to know, because it's only the self is only interested in your well-being, it's interested in your comfort, it's interested in your spirit, your progress, your success, and everything. It is a injurious, a bit hurtful, a bit force information in the aba. Then it drops into your thoughts. Sorry, your friend, instance. But with the intuition, when you are advanced and you can cross the thought barrier, then what you can say, you know something, wake up from the chair. What's in a very nice and very calm, and you can engage. You engage. Why do I have to wake up?
Wake up from the chair?
Oh yes, because in no time the chair can break.
Then easily, argue.
Yes, then just wake up.
Pain. There was a lady who was traveling to Kumasi, and one of these buses no Kumasi. Car need 2 years. Uchemu on some the whole stretch no kusum no. You have no run and then I can't bomb but no run or car no say what is it? Sifom. See went here. This is Sifom. Or no quantity. Yeah. No driver Messi.
That's the instinct level.
And our driver Messi. And it was like no you need to come what the club and why and that can people were talking. They were talking in the car and we see it. One day, no answer what we see. No Gina Bush or no crossing over, no coffee car, no back cry. No bar station of your Phyllis or Foka for Quena car and accident. Nobody survived in that car.
Yes.
Nobody. No, I sign with her say any day, anytime. So our voice never pay or follow.
Yes.
Or the BMP. I was driving her from Takwa to Accra. That is where I really experienced what she meant by that. From Takwa, we were in a bush road through Dunkwa, near Nam, Takwa, Damai Road, no so I baby P, the Simpra so and those stretch. No more your construction. No, it's a mud digging a very deep trench. Away in him, and on my Nairo, a quite a no my Nairo router, Uber fast until I was driving. It was late at night around 11. In the air driving the air back. So we drive here and I was using the Google map. When I'm in fact that route in that. The concentration was both on the map and on the road. We drive here, actually another person to front her. Drive here, say stop the car. It was so commanding. Put the phone down and stop the car. It was I want to be Jina. Charlie, in committee the Nessas later and can't record it.
You see?
So I stopped. Jina. The phone to me, me jam to her, and I make me Jina. But anymore, house here very dark. Page 18. No, none of us will survive. Because stones say what down straight and on again and where coins were. Science said this is in the forest, so they didn't put any sign there. I said, whoa.
So it's there.
And the business said, why? I say I heard the voice that stopped the car. So I just or can just ask
the intensity of the energy nearby.
And also repeat it. So and you'll be a bit disrespecting me that.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, on a normal day, I say, or this stop the car like this is no let me deny. You couldn't anyone the bar and say from that day or car someone but you know who to do.
Yes, that's the way it is. And see, so now cannot 100% correct. But such a person, if the person advances in development, he can engage. Because this is an instinctive direction. But you should be able to engage. And at the level of engagement, that's where you can now do inventions. You can now come out with knowledge and intelligences. Because when the trouble is ahead of you, because you don't have connection with that level of intelligence, yeah, they are then the buffers.
My uncle jump from here. Let's look at the maybe I can say level, no self level. That line between no. When people develop, is it difficult?
Difficult is relative. Because what will be difficult to me may not be difficult to him. So difficult is relative. In terms of spirituality, everybody has his own path and experience. Depending on a person's incarnation, the number of times he has incarnated. it will determine how fast or slow the person will be able to attain. What I say, Obi will take it 6 months, Obi will take it 1 year. Obi, me say, me teacher Obeche, you know, he came from Tanzania, and then about first time, I wasn't part of the group. I was in the field doing construction with a friend, and the friend told me, I say, teacher be about Obeche, the wind technique, you know. I said, okay, I will go. So I was alone in the group, a foreign person. They were a group of friends. Mm-hmm. I just said, oh yeah, about first one. The first time I got to the mind of the, and so, oh yeah, you know. Because the first one will take you to transcend the physical realm, the physical energy. Mm-hmm. Then you get to the level of the intellect. Clear. Okay. For instance, the first time I transcended mind, and yes, meme say, and yes, meme say, I was conversing with my myself and I the first question my mind asked me, so why are you going? You've always been with me under my control. And I told him, but I'm not you.
So who say oh ya tra ono
matra
ntino obi o twa balaji
cross ya no catch him say I was convinced to say my voice inside clear to say na me no bon komo yi. I said, why are you going? You've always been under my control. You've always been with me. And I'm saying, but I'm not you. That was a self then talking to the mind.
But that's it.
Then at the moment I crossed me pass here and then I saw the blast of the infinite light. So beautiful. You can never. And till that time, from the day I was born till now, I have never seen anything so beautiful.
But I have a serious question for you. Now, when I mentioned it's a serious question, it's not relative.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the country Ghana as far as the area you're going is concerned. Yeah. I want to come back to that because my vision is as a country and even as a continent, it beats me different people with the same energy because the whites have done it and it's working. They even have training centers, spend money to make sure that people who have special giftings are sent there to have that level. Even ombetimam for your embassy. When him say no, say oh do you go? He enters like that, so it's not easy. Say obiti embassy or no denial.
As we talk right now, there's a one of the world's best intelligence institutions in the world are using the technology we call remote viewing. Remember, the CIA uses the remote viewing. Remote viewing is they have people of certain category. They are there. They pay information. Oh, nyansanwa. Yeah, titana yesu rapport is a rapport. Rapport babe pretending now pick information. Now they are quite common. Now say I'm going beyond using rapports. They are using what you call remote viewing. The person will sit in his house and will project
into you
and come to your house. And he will tell you everything. He will pick all information and go back to look, is there. When you go to his house, this is here. His guns are here. Is this information? Is this? Yes, they call it remote viewing. They are doing it. It is there. Listen, when I was much more younger, I was telling them that I stopped because of certain things, because of our geographical settings, but it's still there. I teach people. I was telling my guy that I'm going to teach them. When I was much younger, I could sit in my office. That time, my wife, Patience, then my girlfriend, used to work at the ministries in APAM as administrative secretary. I could sit in my office and then go to her. She wouldn't see me. I'll be in there, I'll see her cooking, then I come back, I'll see her, she's putting on shorts, maybe making rice and all those things. Those days, if I'm coming to you, Nyansa, you understand. I can come here, you see, I'll come here and I remember one scenario that happened. The first experience I have, so that I'll never forget. I met a man by name Ojo in Adabaka. Then my office was at Adabaka. So he came to me. He was the first person that introduced me to astrology. So one day, after I advanced, he told me that, oh, Fred, they said, what pami level no into more we be boame. So they also Saturday uncle baby ofie into Yembra. So name no Adam for be a friend of John is from Nigeria. Yet the church more circle and I until many John Bonkomo. It's the morning John Bonkomo, then I went in and I asked, would you cry? Are we going to see him? Immediately I was in his house. We sent the wife, he's senior man, the man who grabbed books for me, and I'm in the bedroom. He wasn't there. Because we knew then I came back and when I came back, I told John that no, Ojo is not in the house. John said, oh how? So I just went there right now. It's not there. But John understands because it's also the part.
I went there like how? What I said, so
But
no, I know. But because so do be on test because I went there like how? And they okay. We are
and the whole thing happened within a split of a second. That's what talk. That is our omnipresent nature, which we don't develop. And so I just went there. So I said, okay, yeah, let's go. When we got, so I described. So when I got there, the wife was watching. So when we got there and we saw the wife was watching exactly where I was told him. The kids were playing under the trees, the blue, and then look my face. When they went, we said, "Oh, my papa, how much here?" And friend said, "Go be pure and assassin into the crew." This was I never experienced. I forget this. This is my first experience, and it has happened. So these are things which are there.
Now, my question before maybe it's a question, but maybe come home. But this is something that Mijidi said, the country Ghana, you hear by any yagini say you be hujuma. Me pese next year is an election year. We shall pay whoever takes over the seat. As far as where you're going is concerned, if not even at the highest level, the basics, if even in our schools, if not even the special centers, it will be an ally in our constitution that permits that. Because at first, psychic council for whatever.
Yeah, second or you call it counseling units.
So these are near my or they are counseling, but counseling is we don't know amount of physical advice now called baby. It's not counseling anymore. I just want us to veer into that area. If there's anything we can do about it, then we start working on this thing.
Yeah, there's something we can do about it. I'll give a classical scenario. I was watching a documentary about R. Kelly. And according to him, he wanted to be a basketball star. He wanted to be like Michael Jordan. That was his dream. What he hated was music. But when you go to college, you have to go to the counseling unit. And he said the counselor told that you are born a music giant. And he didn't want to hear at all. The interview was before he released the TP2.com album. He said he didn't want to hear at all because music was something he didn't like. So he enrolled into sports and all those things and then got to the college. And so one day they were going to, they had a carol night. And then one of the guys got sick. They were supposed to perform Amazing Grace as a group. One of the guys, so the counselor told the music teacher to let R. Kelly feature in that space of the boy who was sick. And he said no, he was afraid. He said they should promise him that it's only for that night because he thought they were pulling him to the music class. And then he went to perform. According to him, the music they performed was Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. When the performer said one of these Sony Records engineers, sound engineers were around, they picked him and said, oh, look, you're a great musician. So you have a great talent. Can you give a few demos? He said he went to his girlfriend's father's garage with a piano, produced a few demos, and then that was who he is today. And these are things we don't have. Let me give a case. My little boy is the first boy is around 7 years. So I put him on a training. The school does not know about it. So when he was around 3 years, I put it on the training of concentration and focus. So I was training how to concentrate and focus, using the mudras and all those, and how to concentrate and focus. So when that first term I started with him on how to concentrate and focus, when the results came, you know his results. They said that Paul is highly concentrated and very focused at the age of 3 years. You see? So that's how the whole thing is like. So these are things we can replicate.
I just want us to have a look at that. And baby old school no. Problem.
That is him.
Problem. E o krom ha say. Pa ne say nkola school na e kon ne no. Hotna classroom teachers ne kran sentiment nso won so. Nkola nso mfiri beans bi so na aba mfiri asase bi so na aba be krom ha. Je say teachers na nka sentiment control kakrampo. And the Asama Colano number Nasa doors was in teachers, Nintino, and once he didn't care, they moved to the casa.
It depends on which school you go. You see, we need a total overhaul of our educational system from the basic level to the university. Because everything you are learning, well, is designed to make us factory hands. Everything we are learning is designed. It's designed by the intelligences that control the universe, so as they think that we have to run into their factories. Because now you know we are going to the AI, artificial intelligence.
Convenience.
Yes. And before we were supposed to operate on the NI, which is the natural intelligence, not artificial intelligence. This is programmed. This is divine. Now, what is happening is this. They are moving us from biological beings to digital beings. Because AI is digital, but we are biological beings.
Which one is the best?
The best is the NI, which is the natural intelligence. Because the point is that we are biological beings. That is why we are electromagnetic beings. So quantum physics will tell you that we live in the electromagnetic space and we are electromagnetic beings. You get the whole thing. And that is why I say radio, radio, so no. I say eyeshi now don't sakohwa. Na aye clear. Uyinsa.
So the way you somewhere but to baby not don't saka.
You see, because why is that happening? Because we are electromagnetic beings. We have electrical currents within ourselves, and you have magnetic current within ourselves. The electrical current is our masculine energy, and then the magnetic current is our feminine energy.
Papa, my is here. Listen to me. These are the things. My question, pa, a bit my bomb. Zoom produce factory hands beam. I was producing the right people to take over the world. Yes.
Mira, na den na ofre adwuma ba ya ase waye bosan sei. E di asemwa.
Binihwe mafo kwa na ekwo wo mo animu. Bosia kura mi pedi am ye di abobra so a. Minya bi.
Yesre. Eclipse Collateral Management for Abamaye. Waye Prime Brokerage Service. Na no se de etie nie. So we japade na wo ho nkrata. Wutumi de nkrata ne beja Eclipse Collateral Management. Na so bi so we japade ebia na ne nkrata no animu anom. Na ope bosia. Ye de wo nkrata ne yensi achi ba manipa no bosia etua ehon faso ma wo ankrata ne ye wo de ani di free
ne se woni akura ntie
emane how cry esan se wono so wo ajapade a wo de ba yenti no eno na bank de beton wa bra won kwo wo de ne ho kra
na tresa me nkrata da dem no ebetumi ama manya sika wo bra me japade no eho nka
sapepepe wo be hu Eclipse Collateral Management e wa Denta Pantai Junction Adenta new site wa 0543832466. Eclipse Collateral Management. Think safety and decent income.
I was here from a Renault Dutchman. Enemy share if you had any Renault. I've ready Jumedia to the fact sheet at the Brewer up 98.9. So Jumedia here and come on Ahudua, Yatchin, and Impenifua Kukuda, when him dear, our Ghana Mansamu. A minor crown calling him Diemu near the Brewer. Fact sheet. It didn't come right here, so what? If you're done, you renew here. Enemy share.
Oh, Biamro, Nami was somewhat the mamu. Is as a Santa Happy Masaba Biamo. See, na ye crado, it's as a bronya way, a ye bronya, a bayer death from Cookwanso. Our bra one Santa Happy. And Eddie, Tie, Dabia, Media Chadia from Kutin Trenti, and I made the air bramo. Said ya Baya Bamu Akuma to Yamu, Nanija Bawa Brabomu, Bra, Naba coming one, Santa Happy, Niani Bronya, our coins from Koso, our West Hills Mall, Bronya da etosu Adio Numiensa, Share Nasa Konyakesia, Eddie a Syria Kesia Bebro, Bronya Bray, and Fowl Wanko. As I say, Obi Biran who Becca say, Happy Holiday, Amu Akuma to Yamu, Essence Santa Happy. Who bronya no ye de. If we say Santa Happy, ebema weni a jisron kokwanso. Santa Happy, ya tu anija pete afimu ni nyina. Happy FM, nimdia Happy FM, eni jenkwa. West Hills Mall, the happy place.
Ghana for pet tasty Tom tomato mix yusu. Woko choba restauranta. If you swa eye
tasty Tom. Me your farm Jenny me akoyepa. Me you say tasty Tom tomato mix. Eye koko kama. With the ye Jania with a rich tomato flavor no. Na me tasting so dear. On point.
Sa.
Me choba ha. Me fa tasty Tom kakra bi yam kwan ne fro ya. Na ye bebre. Me handwriting so ensisada.
Me a chef. Tasty Tom gives you value for money. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Intimate top apano.
At once. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Adeɛ baako a ɛma abrabɔ yɛ dɛ ɛne sɛ bɛnya boafo a wonni bɛtuo na mo abrabɔ yi mu awadeɛ nso ɛna ɛka dɔfo bɔ mu na wobɛware nso a ɛne yi ne buo no ayɛ deɛ ma nkɔfo bebree ne
senti and happy 98.9 FM. Your nam happy FM Valentine Mass wedding so. And you don't know. I feel the brasso. The four forms of Sia. Our happy 98.9 FM. 1,000 Ghana cedi pay. Near your wedding in your mouth. Your back council amount. Your my wedding gone. Or be man suit. When see on the day wedding Nankasa. Just if you have a sacco reception. Happy FM Valentine Mass wedding. I am there to make Cabra Happy FM. Before forms of Sia. Free 0244 906 235 and 0302 254 858. Happy FM Valentine Mass wedding. Forms 9 radio. Brasisia. Before the answer you too late. Happy FM Valentine Mass wedding. I worry on another level. Don't know.
Darling.
Yes.
Ye be didina meche Angel Cola. Me bread do. Obi fa Angel Cola drink. Na ne yonku eyi Angel Orange. Ana Angel Mango. Ose me san pe di obi eyi. Aka me de ho.
Sese obi ape Angel soft drinks ni nyina bi.
Ai, daddy, me say me penny ni na bi.
Sister, wo de mama Angel Peach, Angel Strawberry, and na Angel Cocktail. Actually, no my Angel Apple Lime.
What? It's any of my dear. Miss Angel Cola, any Angel Orange, and a mania. I think it's also from wifey. For us, Chester, Ebesia. Never Angel drinks in a room. Obiakatan and Winnie. There was Sabbath mono, no anum.
Only that's a massa. And no ano.
There be a sunny and Angel Cola, the assemble. Angel drinks here. I'm in my bush. I don't call soft drinks beverages limited. And why? Who to do after one? 0244 83 22 86 and 050 78 78 668.
Angel drinks.
Taste like our day.
FDA, Aji Jeden Kratoyatu.
Dr. Pablo Boni, Tinyansa Boakwa, Afamunyansa, the Bebo.
98.9 Happy FM. So, my farmers wedding forms in the Ampacho, you're faster, in Tempa, quick, Nebra. Happy Center is happening on the 23rd of December. Ampacho, we ABC West Hills Mall. Happy Center, Santa Yujubidika Sia, de a chadi. So, Brunya Chidi Nina, and you're tuning Santa Happy, our West Hills Mall. From my friend Nebra, West Hills Mall. Now, may I do my 23rd December. Nyasem Kitokra. Never miss out the big smile like the Beshenko for any so. Me too, say the Frewa or Kaswa or dance man named Patem say, just a own man West's one. Look me do money feed the baby, the baby. Glad me Joe, money at least playground the Brioha when they be pa. We happy holidays near the air down where you perceive more fun energy. Santa happy. Santa happy. About dress not in your baby now what the amount, what I say. Energy and spreading cheers all year. Wessels more etachi and Happy FM the see and also sa energy. And then chance on say your call holidays kakra. Now is it me call ya person jolly person jollof kakra and if any jolly person jollof kakra. Would they an tasty Tom and rich tomato mix. Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix. Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix. Just say who could just want to be cross some about kakrebi. Kakrebi na baby. I wofa kakra pɛ na ayɛ bebree nti mpacho sɛ yɛ nkwan na woyɛ Christmas jollof na woyɛ deɛ woyɛ bi woyɛ tomatoes deɛ ɛne mu nso eguma na emu ekɔkɔ kama ti sɛ wa to sɛ wa I chop the thing now warm jollof asemu eni na ba no sɛ uhu ya na wa say salivate what you say tasty tom and red tomato ko dwa so wobɛdi dwanko a na tasty tom ɛna auto na de aduane ofie ma ne gye abafie mpacho anono ne e benom this period nyina no should be Angel Cola enjoyment Angel Cola from Adonko Soft Drink Beverages Limited omo and Angel Cola a free mansankebi your Angel Orange, Angel Mango, Angel Peach, Angel Apple Lime. It tastes like our the air pa. Fred HPB to 0244-832-286 and abe fra the bemo be a tube. Shetoa with the basic fear. Unya kenkibi, unya bayribi. Ebi anye de bia na bejeja ho ano de ane cheche na pressure da so bi no wako edwuma ba be do few percent shito ka ambacho mansanka chana shito your number one choice when it comes to black pepper sauce chana shito jodie de pa ye sheda ye ni yie it say wa ugibisi obi ye na wokọ tuka mama ye bucket kese de ma wokọ ye bi wokọ programs bi ni ade na anya fi na wokọ no nuane a din utukwan ya metukwan say makwa akọje de Jesus men took wine. No, my just a bag in him because who could do say and an English breakfast and why fries. Me this and that's why. Now me got a corner. And yeah, me rice ka crave. The menya beer no. She told the best of me fast. What you say? China she told the friend near me will be. We are ordered by 0244-448-180. 0244-448-180. And then the number obefre. Papa. Enra and the Bible quiz in the final the berry. Congratulations to mom baby kind who na say. Now also went to maybe near Wakreniama. Next year, you're ready. Say so Bible time or so. Now baby come be also Abajiniama. I'm for so as for near my Japadia can see coffee now the tona when you be no patch of a kind home. Yadamunia must see sponsors Bible Society of Ghana. More boy in Yano. Yadamunia must some Buama when he is very successful. Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Service. Tunza de afro say wasa senkrata na ekuta no ye de ye gi as collateral na amausika afibia your dental barrier and no answer wasa senior registered and no say think safety and earn decent income fair na never nkrata na bra na afi wonso afibia yin chat from farm 0543-832-466 edian na bepe with this your knowledge ekuta wo share your current state as far as knowledge is concerned. Fitimofraso, the education system, I didn't ba. We investigations are why any research are why any baby I will develop a chrono. Dear Nabe can say, ye as a nation in terms of ye mremoa, a bit ma boama, yet in your tin desa, Ubia Kentimi Casam and Sacolabia Green Fanenco, Ubia Ken, dear Nabe Pesco, Abine Bay.
Penny say, I say ye inculcated into a curriculum, personal development program. That starts from the basic level right up to the tertiary level.
Personal development
program. Because your curriculum, there's no personal development in the curriculum.
Unlike we have like life skills before, near life skills.
Yeah, those are life skills. We are talking about personal development. Certain structures, when they want to employ our services, we are able to do it. Even if it's for free of charge, we are ready to do it because we are in for the collective good of all humanity on the planet. So if we can have well-designed personal development programs, that tends to develop the children from the basic level. Because when the psychology of a person is not right, everything he does is wrong. So be psychology, and that's the problem we are having. And you see, the kind of creation we do from the basic level is what you're having at the managerial level, at the governmental level, at the ministerial level, and at the presidential level. You see, because the psychology is not working properly. And no yet recalcitrancy, but that is the entiasia, that is how he perceives life. And that wrong perception has created a fake reality. Into no feel say, now when you go to somewhere like Amsterdam, Holland, MP will ride bicycle to Parliament. But over here,
V8,
and everybody must stop on the way, halt everybody's activity because he needs to pass. You see, but when we begin to work within that sphere and come to that realization, and that inner development is imbibed in us from the very fundamental level, because the Bible says that train up a child the way he should grow. That when it grows,
you will not depart.
You will not depart. But the problem we are doing is that here we don't. And that when they say training simply means development. You are developing somebody because training is a system, a well-structured system through which it takes something through or somebody through for the person to be developed.
Me individual for now. You need system be in a curriculum. Yes, I did. Individual parents, individual group of people, maybe associations, fan clubs they will need this service to develop as people. Are you ready to offer that?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yesterday, I was talking to one of our members in Canada, Brad Michael, and I make a chance to look. The reason why the Chinese and the Indian finishes school and they think of setting up a business, but an African or a regular, even a white guy, finishes school and is looking for a job application is because of the system that don't bring in. And that, you see, ASA, you see, we have something called oral training, oral transmission. And you be an better classroom. You see, we have left all our responsibility of child's development to schools.
To the hands of a teacher.
And because that teacher he doesn't know what life is. He don't need that. Or not because he's struggling with his life.
You
understand? So that's the problem. So the point is, say, we should begin to say, yes, we don't have governmental establishment interested in these things, but to me now ideas. So as families, we should begin.
For number those that are interested, I think that this is something that I don't know if you are training more people for this space, this kind of number. I would love say, but my contactor, your person to my contactor because we need this as a nation. We are going where we are going because of Sadia working 50 more fractions. I can't say because we are the kind of training
system
and yet you move your fault. One of our accepting and the way I exercise we didn't even know. But then it's important say you be take your math through it. Nafi and no about challenge to the society now be the bounce be that smart. If you have the opportunity for us.
Yeah, so it's an Mekano. There is I was speaking to a lady from Germany. And I was saying the Manoko Special School, and I say Bonibina, and that's what we're going to recommend there. Also, then the Banoko, I say engine because the ban is a black. And I say it's a special school, and it's very expensive. And they train the children through natural development. And also, most of these children, they are the people also called. They are the people who come to the scientists, they do the inventions and all those things. They go to schools and pick the most brilliant kids, and then they put them in the curriculum and they give them special training. Yeah, say, I don't know, maybe you will know, you're a media person. I don't know, when we pick our presidency and our ministerial destiny, they go for a special training session. Yes, because you pick somebody at random than as an MP, you need to structure the person to understand.
I don't see what you need to
no, but you can't pick somebody at random and just the Ministry of Education.
Picking to bend.
No, what is it? We pick. But when you pick, like, can you wake up and just become a judge?
What about number
0243 732861.
Take your time. Minister of Pombe Fremi 0243 73 28 61. And I'm called the Way Networks.
The Way Networks. YouTube, the Way Networks. They will get all the information.
Okay.
Yes.
Please remember to subscribe. You can go there and learn a lot because your time name my kwame and be beyond concourse. And so ubetimi alcohol the Way Network.
Yes.
The Way Network.
Networks. With S.
The Way Networks.
Yeah.
Very important. Go YouTube. Now if you follow now number no so here pa 0243 73
28
61. See them that's so by. I know say some few years to come. You bet me assign a lot. They are who debate to me.
Yes.
10 years to come, we will not be sitting here saying this again. The result, the outcome of the HRC and meaning say I am in full support.
And that is what we really need. There's nothing more to this. I can bet with my last penny. So Obi Uncle regular school and is able to develop this that I'm talking about, the person will still be successful.
But that's no break.
Thank you.
I had to see me Jim the power that bay and then I joined the This is what we stand for. One time in Ghana, sorry. with the scientific part I was say it me a ho adwuma part da ben e na eto aso e ba isia
one expert I'm a better you treat ya better
this magaba
any akwanya pia obetumi de di nkunemu register one expert